Hi and welcome to another one of our maths videos. Today's video we're going to go through how to read coordinates on a map. So we're doing a lot of position work this week, so we're talking about coordinates today. So let's get started. When you see normal coordinates, what you'll see in a street directory or things like that, you'll see two different lines, a line that goes down the bottom and a line that comes up here like this. Now, if you've learned anything from scratch this term, you should remember that the line that goes across, we call the x-axis, and the one that goes up, we call the y-axis, and that's going to become important. Not as important today as it will tomorrow when we talk about having 4 different quadrants, but for today's activity, I want you to remember the x-axis goes down the bottom and the y goes up the top, up and down. That's going to be really important because I always want your coordinate, your x coordinate, to come first. So when you're reading a coordinates on a map, I always want you to plot the x-axis first, then the y-axis. So the first question asks you, write the coordinates of each animal. So where is the elephant? So you're going to make sure you read the x-axis first, so it goes F8. So next to the elephant, you'd put F8. Pretty basic stuff. What about the zebra? Start from the x-axis, go across, I2. Buffalo, C3. Rhino, B9. And the lion would be E2, like that. Pretty basic stuff, but not all the coordinates you see will have letters and numbers. Some of them just have numbers, and that's it. But let's quickly go and just see if we could do this one here. What would be the coordinates of number 1? It would be A1. See if we're right. Yep. Coordinates number 2, there we are here. So we go across to D first. D7. Coordinates number 3, go to the x-axis first. G5. Oops, sorry. Struggling with that. Number 4, go across. I8. We're not going to go any further than that now, but that's how you do it. You can see clearly down here, the X is down here on the one going horizontally, and the vertical one, we've got the Y up the top here. Okay? So the other type of the maps you might see, the coordinates might be both sets of numbers. Okay? Which can be a bit trickier when you're reading the numbers, knowing which ones goes first, but remember, the x-axis always goes first, then the y-axis. So let me get a text box, and we'll see if we can plot some different points. If I asked you where was the elephant, you'd come across here and say 7, 5. So in brackets, you would write 7, 5 equals elephant. Okay, if I asked you where the brick wall was, you would do the first one first, so the x-axis, so 4 and then 2. 4, 2, brick wall. We'll do one last one. Let's do the power line. You go across to 7, then all the way up to 6. So 7, 6, so 7, 6 equals power line. Now you can see how I've marked it there with the brackets and with a comma next to it. We don't just write 76, we write 7, 6. So you write the x-axis, then a comma, then the y-axis, and then you close the brackets there. Okay, so we're going to move on to our activity for today. And our activity today is to plot the coordinates on this emoji activity sheet to try to make a shape. And I'm going to go through it with you. Now, I'm going to say before we start that the best possible way to do this activity would be to print it out on a piece of paper and to use a ruler and a pencil. If that's possible, I would suggest doing that. If it's not possible, there are ways to do it on Google Slides like I've set it up here. If you are using an iPad and you're using Seesaw or another device like that, you can do it. It probably won't be as neat as what it would be if you were using a piece of paper. So let's get started. It says draw the lines made by these coordinates. Use a different color for each line. Okay, so the first line, all these numbers are all joined together. Then the second line, all these numbers are joined together. I know it sounds confusing, but we're going to go through it. Now remember, the x-axis is always first, then the y-axis. All right, let's get started. So the first one says 6, 0. So we go to this line button here, and we go to 6 and we go to 0, and we're going to look at where we're going to join this line to. So from 6, 0, we're going to join it to 8, on the x-axis, but up to 1 on the y there. Now the next one says 9, 2. So we're going to go across to 9, up to 2, and join these together. The next number says 10, 4. So we go across on our x-axis to 10, up to 4 here, and go across here. The next number says 10, 6. So once again, we go across on our x-axis to 10, up to 6 here, and we plot it down like that. Alright, the next number says 9, 8. So we go across on our x to 9, all the way up to 8 here. There we go. Next one says 8, 9. Cross on our x to 8, all the way up to 9 here. Join those two together. Doing it pretty easy so far. 6, 10. So go across to 6, all the way up to 10. Join them together. Next one says 4, 10. So we go across to 4, and then we go up to 10. Now once you finish the first line, I want you, so you don't get confused, to cross that all out. Okay? Now, I'm not going to use a different color because it's too hard on my computer as I'm doing it now, but you might use a different color from here on. Now the second one where it says 6, 0, you're going to go and you're going to start down here and start a new line. So you go 6, 0 to 4, 0. So you go across here to 4, 0. Then the next one says 2, 1. So you go across to 2 and up to 1, and you join them together and you start going the opposite way. Every time this line finishes, you can take the pen off the paper and actually start a new line starting in a new place. Okay, when it all goes together and you finish the whole thing, you should start to make a shape that should hopefully make sense. If it makes no sense at all, you've probably gone wrong somewhere and probably need to have a look at doing it again. So this has been quite easy, but just remember the x-axis, the horizontal line goes first, then the vertical y-axis always goes second when you're plotting points. Now we're starting a little bit easy today because tomorrow when we move into our 4 quadrants, when we have minus x and minus y and those sort of things, it's going to get a little bit trickier. I just thought we'd go slowly on different steps to go from this stage here with just plotting points on the x and y-axis, and then tomorrow will get even harder than this. I hope you've learned something today, and good luck finishing the activity. Thanks.